What is going on, guys? Madden 24. Now we're showing you how to use your created player in a franchise mode, or created players, several created players, doesn't matter how many. Now this is done the same every year pretty much, but it's a little bit tricky and we're going to go through it because somebody did ask me about it. So let's get into it. So first you're going to create your player, of course. That's what you're going to do, right? Of course you understand that part. We're going to go ahead and create our player. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time with this. We're just going to get into it, okay? Let's give this guy a name, a quick name. His name is Tim Holmes. It doesn't matter because I'm not going to be using this stuff anyway. So there's no sense in wasting time on this guy. Okay, his name is Tim Holmes. He's going to play for the Dolphins. Let's give him some attributes. That way he at least, has a spot on the roster, right? Let's give him a little bit of attributes, not nothing too serious, right? He's just going to have a little bit of stuff. I actually did have, I had trouble with this a couple times. But not this year I didn't, but another year I did. Because I was having trouble putting my traded player in the franchise. But anyway, let's get into it here. Just give him a little bit of, he's a quarterback, right? Of course, he wouldn't be wearing number 13. He's not going to be wearing Dan Marino's number. That would be ridiculous. But he is right now, isn't he? We're not going to use him. That would be blasphemous. But, okay, so there's our guy, right? We have him. He's on the Dolphins. We're going to go ahead and save our player. So now after you save your player, you're going to save that roster. We're going to call this newbie. I don't really care, right? I'm not putting a lot of thought into these words like the names of the saves and all that. We're just creating something here, right? Okay, so now I got my created player. So here's the tricky part, okay? Now starting my franchise with my created player or several players, whichever, however you want to do it. I usually use several. I put created players on teams I'm not even using sometimes. But anyway, let's get into it. So I'm going to go to my franchise. But, okay, I already missed a step here. I went straight to franchise. Okay, that's not going to work, okay? That franchise is not going to work. You can't do that. You can't just go to start a franchise. This is what you have to do before you start your franchise. Even though I just saved that roster is not loaded, okay? That's where I was messing up before. Okay, so now we're going to go to Creation Center, File Share, and then we're going to go to Load and Delete Files, and then we're going to go to Roster, we're going to go to Newbie, and we're going to go to Load Roster. Okay, don't go to Delete. Look at the bottom of the screen. This is the PlayStation 5 version, so it's X and square. You can see it at the bottom of the screen on any version, what button to press. But anyway, so I'm loading up Newbie, okay? Okay, so now I just loaded that roster, okay? So now I'm good to start my franchise now. Some sports games do it differently, but this is how this is done. Okay, so now I'm going to go to franchise, right? Okay? And I'm starting a new franchise, okay? I'm starting a new. Okay? Now, here's the part where you use real-life NFL roster. No, I'm going to use active roster because active roster is the most recent roster that you've loaded. And if you just turned the game on, it's probably going to be this one or, because I don't believe this game automatically loads save rosters for exhibition. I think you have to load those every time is what I believe. So, okay, use active roster. The active roster, remember, is okay. That ain't how I want my season anyway. Okay, I wanted to go offline, but whatever. It doesn't matter. You could do it either way. This is going to be an offline. Okay, use active roster. Either way you do it, offline, online, whatever. But I'm going offline. So, okay. So obviously my credit player was a Dolphin. So I'm selecting Dolphins. Okay.
Use the options on the left to edit league settings or change your role to a player or owner.
Okay, so I'm not going to waste time with any of this stuff. So we're going to go here and just get our league started here. I usually start in regular season. I don't mess with preseason. I never do. But for this video, that's beside the point. We're just making sure that our roster is being imported correctly. So now let me go to manage roster. Let me go to depth chart. My quarterback should come up, and there's my guy Tim Holmes. So it worked correctly. So now my created player is on the team. Okay, he's a 69 overall. He's not that good, but anyway. So that's what you have here, and I noticed this is a Madden 24, and I don't. Usually there's a save. Okay, as you can see, R3 create a save point. Now it auto saves. Okay, it auto saves, but I like to be safe, and I like to create. I like to save it anyway, just to be on the safe side, because if you back out of it, it will auto save. Give your season a name, whatever you want it to be. I'm gonna name this season after my player's last name, Holmes. Doesn't matter, right? Call that whatever you want. So now I got a new save file. But like I said, you should be safe if you forget to do that because it should auto save. But I like to make sure that my stuff is saved 100%. So anyway, that's how you do it. That's how you put your created players in franchise mode.